Welcome to Brainstem. Today we'll be learning about AI and machine learning. So, what exactly is AI, or artificial intelligence? Essentially, artificial intelligence is the ability for a computer or for a robot to learn and solve new problems. It uses predefined rules to solve these problems, and it's dependent mostly on symbolic learning to do so. So, what are some examples of AI? If you've ever used an iPhone, you may have heard of Siri. Basically, Siri is a chatbot that uses artificial intelligence to answer all sorts of questions, like, what's the weather? Or Siri, what's the time? Like in this picture, Siri could even help you find your lost keys. So under artificial intelligence, we have another type of learning called machine learning. So what exactly is machine learning? Machine learning, again, is a subsection of artificial intelligence, where we let computers and robots essentially think for themselves using data that they've been able to analyze. So some examples of machine learning include recommendation systems like in Google or YouTube that use information like what types of videos you've watched before, and information like location, age, and gender to decide what types of videos and websites to recommend to you. So you can see in this diagram, there's two variables that are used in machine learning, especially particularly in this recommendation system, content filtering and collaborative filtering, to lead the machine learning algorithm, which is a tool that machine learning uses to solve these problems, to figure out what they should recommend to you as the viewer. So it may be a little confusing, like what exactly AI and machine learning are. So how exactly are they different? So though AI and machine learning are very similar, and like we said before, machine learning is actually categorized under AI, the main difference is that machine learning specifically allows computers to learn using predefined rules that they create themselves based on tools that humans give them, otherwise known as algorithms. And this includes stuff like neural networks, which we'll go over later, and even deep learning, which that in and of itself is a subset of machine learning. So what are some applications of AI and machine learning? One very important application of AI includes Tesla's autopilot, where Tesla's cars, in essence, can drive by themselves simply by interpreting and analyzing the driving environment all around them, like the different obstacles, cars all around them in the environment, to understand where these potential dangers are, allowing the car to use machine learning and AI to drive the car independently without any human interaction at all. And AI has also been used in marketing, where it's been used to target specific ads at different types of people. So, for example, an ad from Nike on basketball shoes may be targeted towards basketball players specifically using AI and machine learning. So, using artificial intelligence, how does a robot navigate space and solve problems? Basically, here is shown Tesla's autopilot, which is an example of applications of AI and machine learning. And in this specific example, the robot, the car, the Tesla car, uses symbols to construct the environment all around it, which is the road and the cars and all the different railings and different obstacles around it, to represent the conditions of the problem and to represent possible actions it could take to solve the problem, which in this case is driving the car. So this is in essence we call symbolic learning or SL learning. So we went over neural networks before, but what exactly are these neural networks? So basically, neural networks are webs of algorithms which are predefined rules that can be used by computers to solve different types of problems like the Tesla autopilot self-driving car that we mentioned before. And like I said before, neural networks are a subset of machine learning. Essentially, neural networks, as seen by the name, try to emulate the way our brains function in terms of the networks of neurons that are spread throughout our brains. So we've learned a lot about AI, machine learning, and the different types of learning behind these concepts, but how exactly can these be applied to neuroscience? So in the future, AI could be used to create smarter brain-machine interfaces. So here in this image, you see a concept of how different wires could be hooked up to different sections of the brain to essentially use AI and create these brain-machine interfaces. And AI itself is highly connected with neuroscience, and this connection between the two concepts could potentially be used to drive breakthroughs in each field. And seeing as neural networks are such great representations of the human brain, they could be used to serve as an electronic model of the human brain itself. And this could be used to help scientists and researchers to understand how the different connections in the brain interact and operate with each other. So here are some even more applications of AI and machine learning. So one particular application is neuro-oncology. So neuro-oncology is a study of different brain cancers, and in this field, artificial intelligence can be used to assess different brain tumors and cancers. Specifically, machine learning has been used by researchers to detect and determine the location of brain tumors simply through analyzing MRI scans through the algorithms of computers and machine learning. And this allows a great increase in the efficiency of cancer detection in the brain. And machine learning has also been used to predict the outcomes of brain cancer, to predict and estimate the survival times of glioma patients using these machine learning algorithms. So to go over everything, what is AI? Previously, we learned that AI, otherwise known as artificial intelligence, is the ability for a computer to learn and solve different problems, all by using predefined rules to solve these problems. And it uses a specific type of learning called symbolic learning. And machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, but the main difference between machine learning and AI is that machine learning is dependent on computers essentially being able to think for themselves by analyzing their own data and using predefined rules that they create themselves using this data. And there are many applications of AI and machine learning, including Tesla's autopilot and different recommendation systems used like in YouTube, Google, Spotify, and Netflix. And specifically within neuroscience, machine learning and AI can be used to detect different disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, as well as in the detection of different types of brain cancers, as well as we talked about how AI could be linked with neuroscience in order to create smarter, better brain machine interfaces, right? Thank you, and I hope you learned a lot from this session.